Hello, my name is Saloni Thete, and in this video, I am going to explain GCD, that is Greatest Common Divisor, and its properties. Now, what is GCD? GCD, which is also known as the greatest common factor of two numbers, is the largest number that divides them both. And GCD can also be defined as three or more positive integers as the largest common divisor shared by all of them. Then GCD is also one of the best known arithmetic notions. It's also one of the most common and useful tools. Now let's properties of GCD. The first property says that every common divisor of A and B is a divisor of GCD of A comma B. Then the next property is that GCD of A comma 0 is equal to determinant of A for A not equal to 0, because any number is a divisor of 0 and the greatest divisor of A is determinant of A. Now this is usually the case in the Euclidean algorithm. Now if A divides the product B into C and the GCD of A comma B is equal to D, then A divided by D divides C. Why? Because D is the common factor of A and C, which are co-prime. So the next property says that if M is a non-negative integer, then the GCD of M into A, comma M into B is equal to M into GCD of A, comma B. Then the next property is that if M is any integer, then the GCD of A plus M into B, comma B is equal to GCD of A, comma B. Then the next property is that if M is a positive common divisor of A and B, then the GCD of A divided by M, comma B by M is equal to GCD of A, comma B divided by M. Why? Because here M is the cofactor of A, comma B. So these become the coprime. Okay. So the next property is commutative property, that is the GCD is a commutative function, that is GCD of A comma B is equal to GCD of B comma A. We all know this. So the next property is that the GCD is an associative function, that is the GCD of A comma GCD of B comma C is equal to GCD of GCD A comma B comma C. So now we will see examples based on GCD.
Now we will solve two examples on greatest common divisor. So we first example we'll solve, that is find out the GCD of 2 comma 8. Now according to this concept of greatest common divisor, first we have to remove the list out the divisors of these two numbers. So the divisors of 2 are 1 comma 2 and the divisors of 8 are 1, comma 2, comma 4, comma 8. Now we have listed out the divisors of 2 and 8. Now we'll find out the common divisors between these two numbers, that are 1 and 2. Now we'll find out the greatest common divisors between these two. Now the greatest between this 1 and 2 is 2. Therefore the GCD becomes 2. Now we will solve one more example, that is using Euclidean's algorithm. Okay, now GCD of A comma B can be simplified as GCD of B comma A mod B. Now there are two conditions, that is A if we consider A greater than B. But If A is smaller than B, then we can swap it and make it as GCD of A comma B. And with this process will continue till this path becomes 0. Then we'll get the GCD of this first parameter, this, that is B. Now we'll take the previous example, that is GCD of 2 comma 8, but here 2 is small, A is small, so we'll swap it, that is GCD of 8 comma 2 is equal to GCD of 2 comma 8 mod 2. Now we'll divide this 8 and 2. Okay, so here we get the remainder as 0. So we get GCD of 2 comma 0. Now, as the rule, as I said before, if this path becomes 0, the first parameter becomes the GCD. So here 2 becomes the GCD. Therefore, the GCD here is 2. Thank you.